Hey guys, it's Tim with Tim Knows Stuff. Uh, yeah, I just want to do a quick video on a Linux distro that I found called SharkLinux. It came through DistroWatch, looks like over the last few days, as being a new distro. From one of the videos that I saw earlier, it looks like it may have been around for a little longer than we thought, but not too long. Um, this OS is based on Ubuntu 16.04 with a Mate desktop environment of 1.16 right out of the box. So what you're going to want to do when if you're comfortable with the process is actually go through and push your Mate release up to 1.18, which right now is going to be the latest and greatest. Now, good thing is you don't have to do this manually. There is a way of doing it without much problem. What they've done um, is they've added the Shark Linux developers have added a bunch of install scripts and things like that for different applications to the OS. So under the other folder, there are all of these different scripts. Now, keep in mind that some of these are not scripts; they're actually applications that were installed, like Chrome Remote Desktop. So when you install Chrome, the Chrome browser, then that gets installed. Uh, the GIMP extension pack is an actual script installer that does add the expansions and stuff like that to the GIMP application. FireJail, Cockpit, and all these others as well. Uh, Google Drive, Google Keep, and some others. But the one thing that that I want to point out about upgrading the Mate release is using this Shark Linux Edge. Um, the Shark Linux Edge, when you click on it, it's an installer script that will go out and download the latest and greatest Mate release and all of the libraries and applications, things like that go along with it. So, as it says, you're about to switch Shark Linux to an unstable version that features many unsupported packages and unofficial ports. Well, hey, it's Linux. Why not? Hey, we live on the edge. Why not? So, and it goes back to option number one. I laugh at the face of danger. I like that. That's good. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, I reject this backwards hackery. It was just funny the way they put that in there. But that's a way of actually doing the upgrade. Uh, as you can tell, I've already done it. I'm already running it, so it's working just fine. I haven't had any problems yet. Um, what you're seeing on my desktop is not the standard desktop for Shark Linux. I modified it using Mate Tweak. I went ahead and installed Docky Dock down at the bottom, and um, I pulled the original dock out because it's actually an XFCE4 dock down at the bottom, and when you click on it, it did have the XFCE folder views and everything else, program manager basically. So I went ahead and pulled that out because it was interfering with my Docky and some other things as well. Um, so everything is standard for the most part, but there are a few things that I want to point out. You do have your regular drop downs that come with Ubuntu and most Linux distros. Um, Under accessories, most everything in here is standard, with the exception of this free file sync that they've added, Emacs 24, which was installed as an expansion. Uh, the OpenDesktop.org app. This one's pretty neat because it gives you access to uh, all of the themes, add-ons, and everything else for your particular desktop environment that you're working with. So you can go and actually download and install all of these things from OpenDesktop.org. It's actually pretty slick that they've done it. Um, I bet if I research a little bit more, I'll find that they may have installed ICE on this as well, because at least in order to give you access to this open desktop application, you would almost have to use something like ICE to be able to make it work. Let's see. Real-time sync is another one that was added. Passwords and keys. That's an encryption application. Stacer. This one's actually pretty neat. I don't think I've heard of it yet because I mean it's probably been around, but I'm a hardcore Arch user, so I'm big into Manjaro, Mate Tweak, or not Mate Tweak, excuse me, but Mate Revenge, and some other Arch-based distros. Um, so it gives you a dashboard as to what you're looking at real time right now as far as CPU and memory. Yes, my CPU is high. That's because I'm doing this recording. System cleaner, you can actually select any and all of these items, hit scan, and it'll bring them up and give you an option to actually remove them. So go ahead and clean them out. Startup apps, it's very similar to going to your control panel and scrolling down at the bottom and going to startup applications, but didn't look like it had a whole lot to it. And the one thing that I saw is this panel is here in this list. Well, the issue is that I disabled panel from starting up because it was actually an XFCE4 panel that they used as part of the base install. So I've checked it just to make sure that it didn't come up. I'm not sure why it's here, but I don't know, that may be a discrepancy in Stacer. Services, you can turn on and off different services from within Stacer as well, which is very handy, and you can go ahead and uninstall different apps as well. So that makes life easier. Let's see. Let's go on to the Office stuff. LibreOffice is installed by default, and you can uninstall it and go ahead and put WPS or whatever else that you want. Games. These games are not installed. I ran a small test script earlier that was in here, which installed them. I'm not a big gamer, so I mean I could take them or leave them, but these were actually installed using a script that I'll point out here in a moment. Okay, so as far as graphics is concerned, GIMP was installed. Inkscape was installed. LibreOffice Draw is because it's part of that Office environment. Mate color selection and I have Mate are both installed. Shotwell and Scribus were both done as part of an expansion installation. At least from what I could tell. Under the internet, there are some cool things in here that I want to point out. This clip grab, if you're familiar with like YouTube-DL, the 4K applications and some other things, this clip grab actually may catch your eye. So basically what it does is it allows you to search for certain criteria. So let's say I want to search for let's say 3D printing. It's going to go out and it's going to search for anything with those keywords. And so if I want to, if there's something here that kind of piques my interest, I'll just select this one, for instance. Then it will give you the option it'll actually show you the URL. It'll give you the option to choose a format. I'm going to use MPEG-4, at least for right now. You can select the quality anywhere from 360 to 1080p, and just click, grab the clip, tell it what folder, and save. And that's all there is to it. And it goes and it does its download process. And once it's downloaded, it'll do its formatting into whatever format you tell it. It's actually real nice. You don't have to worry about going and wondering, okay, well, what happened to this video? I don't see it. if you have it downloaded using this application, then you'll have it available. Because I've got some that I want to do that. I want to do that with myself. So it's actually pretty nice in the way it works. Um, as far as the settings, I haven't tweaked any of the settings or anything. It's just standard. It's just standard stock install of the application. If any of you guys have used this before and any yays or nays or anything to say about it, then by all means just let us know. But so far I've been pretty happy with how it handles that those videos. Um, Dropbox, FileZilla, Firefox, Chrome, all that's already pre-installed. Megasync. We've talked about the OpenDesktop.org already. pCloud, I'm not sure what that is as of yet. But there's also remote desktop applications. Slack I've installed by myself. Thunderbird, Transmission, UGET are already there. Wavebox, if you're not familiar with Wavebox, this one is very nice, especially for those that use Gmail on a regular basis. You can actually add your Gmail account to here and have access not only to Gmail but your calendars, to most of the Google's applications that are available. As a matter of fact, I kind of give you a short example. It'll give you access to your photos, to the Note app, to your contacts. It'll give you access to Hangouts and to your Drive, as well as calendars and stuff as well. So it's actually fairly nice. I mean, you can use it. You can actually use it with other accounts. Like for instance, if you click here, you can add access to different accounts without much problem. So it's actually a fairly nice application, and it works. It works real well. So, and there's also a torrent app as well. Office, like I mentioned, LibreOffice is installed, so you can run with it. The other folder gives you access to certain scripts that can be ran to install different applications. So just kind of go through and take a look at some of these. As I mentioned before, Chrome Remote Desktop is there when you install Chrome. Google Drive, Google Keep, those were, I believe were installed as well. There's just different things to play with. I mean, there's more things to play with in here than a standard Ubuntu based release. Programming, Get Kraken and Emacs 64, those are there, ready to go. You can install VI and Vim as well if you're used to that, which I use quite a bit, so I need to do that install myself. As far as sound and video are concerned, not all of this was actually installed. I installed the Simple Screen Recorder, OpenShot, and OBS along with the GUVC View application. Those were the only things that I installed. Everything else was there. As far as system tools, I installed GNOME boxes by default because it does not take up a whole lot of resources and works. It works real well when testing ISOs. This cockpit, it states it's a user interface for Linux servers, but I have not tried. I'm gonna give that a shot as well. Featured software. It's just one click for installing different applications. You may want to install the expansion, which you probably saw that there were some apps that were in the list that are not there normally, and more than likely it was done through this expansion button. Let's see what else is there. Let's see if we go back. Quake is installed by default, so if I hit F12, it'll bring up the terminal. It's most of you are probably well aware of it already. I knew about it, but I just never used it. I've always used like the Mate terminal or something like that. But since it's just a quick F12, and it works just fine. Let's see, Megasync I've never used. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly what can be can be done with it, but let's see here. So I want to exit. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what all can be done with it, but I may have to try it out one of these days. System tools. It's a list of miscellaneous things that they've thrown in. If you forget to install your swap, you can do that here, and it'll go ahead and it'll give you the option to resize. Monte 1.18, which we don't have to worry about. That's the Shark Edge, so we've already got that, and you can upgrade your kernel as well. So this one is running, yeah, it's running 4.10.0 right now, and it will let you actually change to different kernel releases. Let's see what else is there. Virtual environments. There's a couple of buttons here. One of them gives you options to choose like different platforms, like for instance AWS, Shark Cloud, let's see, Hyper, DevStack, Ubuntu Cloud. It gives you different options to be able to select those services that you want to utilize. Also, it has this virtual machine manager, which is the front end for the QEMU virtual desktop or virtual environment. So that's actually nice. Standard places folder or drop downs, you know. But one thing I do want to bring up, which was interesting and kind of disturbing as well in a sense. Since as I mentioned, I'm a hardcore Arch user, so within Manjaro, they've made it kind of easy to go and install packages and have things there for you once the OS is installed. As far as Monte Revenge, it's like a basic operating system. You can tweak it and add to it as well. But neither one of these had any of the CIFS or SMB drivers installed, which I found odd. And so the problem I was running into was being able to connect to my two filers that I have. I've got a World Book from Western Digital, and I've got a My Cloud from Western Digital as well, and I was unable to connect to them. So I had to install those particular packages, libraries, and things, and it finally came up. Within Ubuntu and SharkLinux, if I just click on networks without doing anything, it works. I mean, the stuff's there, so I can click on my networks, go to work group, and there they are. There's the filer. So it works. It works right out of the box. As far as system, everything is standard. There's really nothing that stands out as being different. Under administration, you do have access to the Synaptic Package Manager, but you also have access to this app grid, and I believe within the last couple of releases of Ubuntu, they've actually started going this route, more of a graphical with explanations of the applications and stuff like that. But it allows you to search for the applications to install and then launch them as well. So it's not bad. It's actually pretty nice the way it works. But as far as that's about all there is. As far as the install, I would highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're a hardcore Ubuntu user. I would highly recommend checking it out because it does give you a lot of other add-ons and a lot of other features that the regular Ubuntu Monte does not. You can and this looking at the backgrounds, this is just standard backgrounds. You can download more and stuff as well, but this is just standard. One thing I do want to point out, which was actually kind of funny. Let me see where did I see that at? There's an application in here which allows for it actually allows for the desktops and stuff to switch automatically, and that's something that I had never seen before. I'm sure it's always been out there, but I've never seen it before. But what's funny is it caught me off guard yesterday, and it kept changing my backgrounds, and I'm like, what in the world is going on here? It just kept changing my backgrounds. Um, and sure enough, I found out that they've added this application called Variety. And Variety changes your backgrounds. I kept changing them back, and it kept changing them. I kept changing it back, it kept changing them. Uh, so, so I finally figured out that that app was running, and I shut it off, and everything was fine. But anyway, yes, I'm not really a big Ubuntu fan myself, but but I am starting to like what I'm seeing. I'm going to keep playing around, and I'll have another video on it because I do want to add some of my regular apps and stuff in here as well, and kind of do some beating up and testing. But I will definitely put another video out and let you guys know what comes out of it. I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments, feel free to throw them in, and I'll do my best to answer what I can. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'll try my best. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.